Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to Self Love Friday. Welcome to my couch. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome, and thank you for joining me. So, Self Love Friday, there are so many ways for us to love ourselves. Last week, I chatted about time presence and being really present in the moment and ways to use time. And today, an add-on to that, something that sort of leads out of is productivity. And a true sense of productivity can really make one feel accomplished and like you've achieved something. And what better way to love yourself than the gift of achievement and productivity? So what I've got for you today are 10 tips to better productivity, being more productive, and feeling like you've actually achieved something at the end of each day. So let me know if you've got any questions along the way. I'll be watching the chat, and let's get started on what I call priceless productivity. So first point, and I make this point time and time again, but I'm never going to stop. Point number one, start your day right. The best way to start any productive day is to start it right. Hello, Olga. Here you are. Welcome, Olga. Thank you for being here. So, starting your day right, what does that mean? The tip would be get up early. And my key is that when you wake up, when your body naturally wakes up, that's when you should get up. That whole thing of rolling over and going back for another snooze is not always the best thing for you. There's been research that shows that you don't go into a full cycle of sleep when you do that. So when you snooze your alarm, for example, you don't go into a full cycle of sleep and you actually create more tiredness for yourself, because then when the alarm goes off again 5 or 10 minutes later, you interrupting that flow where the brain goes into a new cycle. So when you wake up, get up. That's a tip for starting your day right. Leading on to that brings me to tip number 2 for productivity. Before we get to tip number 2, Harry, thank you for being here. Good to see you. And thank you for the compliment. Tip number 2 for productivity, leading out of starting your day right and waking up early, is get hydrated. When we sleep, our bodies are busy with all sorts of other functions. And so human beings wake up dehydrated. That is just how it is. And so the best way to then kickstart the day is with hot lemon water. Hot lemon water performs a number of functions, including assisting the liver to cope with everything that it's been busy with during the night. So cleansing out what needs to be cleansed out. It kickstarts the metabolism. Lemon in the body actually turns to alkaline and is a great way to alkalize your body, so bring the body acid down. And then after the lemon water, continue to drink water. It's suggested to get in a liter of water in your first hour of waking up in order to ensure that you're hydrated for the day. So start your day right nice and early and then get hydrated. Hi JJ UK, welcome. Thank you for being here. And yes, as you say, not coffee, as many people think. I don't diss coffee. I love coffee. I've become a decaf coffee, but it's definitely not the first thing you want to be putting in your body. As delicious as the drink is, it's medicinal in small doses and at the right times. And to use caffeine as a way to try and wake up, you're not really helping your body. You're giving your body a crutch. So getting up nice and early and getting hydrated, much better way to start the day. Yes, Charisse, you love waking up with hot water, lemon, ginger, and turmeric. Absolutely. The ginger and the turmeric are great anti-inflammatories. To add those sometimes too. My go-to every day is the lemon and the hot water with lemon. And then I love to treat myself with a bit of the mix. I do turmeric, cinnamon, ginger, and then I sneak in a teaspoon of honey sometimes, which makes it just delicious. But yes, that is a great tonic to start your day. So once you've actually got up early and you've started the hydration process, step number 3 is physicality. Get physical. Start your day with some kind of exercise, even if it's just 20 minutes of movement, and any kind of movement. As you know, I've chatted about mindful movement here on the channel in the past. There are different types of things. Some people like to head off for a run. I love to go for a walk in the morning after I've done my meditation and my journaling. I like to get up and go for a walk or do yoga. I love yoga. Simple stretching, a bit of resistance work, any kind of exercise that just kind of wakes up all the bits of your body, gets all the muscles in on the party, reminds your joints that there's stuff to be done today, just getting the movement going, getting the blood flowing, getting your heart rate up a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, doesn't have to be a high-speed run or a high-intensity workout. It could just be some kind of movement. Some people do Tai Chi. That involves a lot of breath work and slow movement. But what it does is it gets the body going, wakes everybody up, everybody in the building, all the bits. Point number 4 that I want to share with you is now once you want to get productive and you get to your desk, don't check your email. Don't do it. Never start your day in your inbox. That is a really, really bad idea. If you have a plan, as we spoke about last week, if you have a plan and you have your goals and you kind of know where you're headed for the week, you'll also have an idea of where you're headed each day before the day starts. You don't need to jump into your inbox. That will put you into a reactive mode straight away. So instead of you being the driver of your vehicle for the day, you become a reactive, instead of being a proactive driver that you know what you're doing and you know the road and you know your journey and you know where you're headed, you become reactive, where you don't know what's coming at you. You've got stuff coming at you, other people's requirements, other people's needs, where you're just responding to emails. And that can suck away hours of your time, can really take you out. And the way to manage that for me is I set times. So based on my plan, based on my time blocks, based on my goals, I have times in the day when I do check emails, when I know that it is good for me. I've done what I need to do first, and I'm ready. Now I can set aside, and I don't set aside too much time. Usually for me, I give myself an hour because I like to jump between my personal inbox and my work inbox. And then I can prioritize my emails. So I take emails that need some thought, some attention, and are not time urgent, and I task them. So I put them on a task list, and I know that I'm going to get back to that. And then others just have to wait. But I do go through it, make sure that I'm on top of it, but at a specific time that works for me. So usually for me, I'll do it kind of on the back end of lunchtime or just before lunchtime, depending on the day and the week and what I'm doing, which is quite nice. Or sometimes earlier over like my coffee when I do my mid-morning decaf coffee break. So it's a more relaxed vibe. I can assess what needs urgent attention and what can be tasked. But yes, don't start your day in your inbox. Don't do it. Yeah, Cherise, that's true. It's like you say, the conditioning, and I did it for so many years. You get up. In the past, it would be, get ready, jump in the car, drive to work. There's that commute as well. There's very much a disconnect from self and focus and goals. Grab that coffee, get on the phone, look at the emails. Like you say, Cherise, there's so much that's happening. And what ends up happening is a whole day can pass like that. And it's just reacting to stimulus, reacting to what's coming at you. And at the end of the day, it's like, what did I actually achieve? Was I productive? And did I get anywhere nearer to that goal of mine? And so often the answer is no, I didn't. And I don't think that I achieved anything. And that's just a horrible feeling. So out of that proactive email inbox management, the next tip number 5 that I love to share, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, can't do that, is turn off notifications. So I don't have any notifications for emails. There's no sound, there's no pop-up that's on my laptop while I'm working. There's no sound on if I have WhatsApp running on my laptop or on my desktop. There's no sound and there's no pop-up. If no matter what is running, the only thing that I have notifications on is calendar events for my clients. I do it via my phone. So again, my phone is, most things are silenced. WhatsApp is silent. Email is silent. I only have calendar events coming up. And only in that one place because my phone is always with me. Very interesting. Since I started playing with this, it started years ago. And I did it on certain things and then not on other things. And then I would put the notifications back. Maybe you get a new laptop or a new phone, and everything's back to basics. And I found immediately within hours, if not hours, then days, but anxiety forming. And I realized it was the direct result of notifications. And the reason for this is notifications come at you, and again, it brings that reactive state. So instead of being in a centered state where you know what you want to achieve and how you're going to achieve it, you get pulled away from that, and suddenly this person wants you, that person wants you, the phone's ringing, there's a message coming through, the email's coming through. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my inbox, it would just be up all the time. There would be like, bing, bing, bing. So I just cannot have that. It would drive me nuts. And I know anyone who knows me knows that I am a little bit nuts already, but in the best way. And notifications everywhere would make me nuts in not a good way. So my recommendation is turning notifications off. There is sort of common consensus that it's a very good idea to turn notifications off an hour before bedtime so that you give your mind a break. There comes a calendar entry for me, which I should have silenced before this. Thank you for that. But there we go. My little phone just supporting me, reminding me of the next thing that I'm going to after this. So yes, there's common consensus that you should switch off your notifications an hour before going to bed to allow your mind time to get away from electronics. I know that's not very realistic in this day and age because, even reading a book these days happens on electronics with Kindle. And so, yeah, that's a tough one. I do recommend it. I don't always live by it myself, but I do definitely see the difference in myself when I switch off from electronics an hour before bedtime. So there's a nice challenge. Then from turning off your notifications, managing your time yourself, a part of that, a very big part of that is you don't have to answer the phone every time it rings. We've moved away from, I know that's a shock, right? I can imagine you going, what? It's true. I have lived by this motto for the longest time, is that just because it rings does not mean I have to answer it. And it is a very, very empowering thing to live by. Check your ringtone and make sure it's something. How do you feel when you hear it? If any kind of stress or anxiety pops up when you hear that sound, change your ringtone or put it on vibrate only or have it on silent so that it's only a visual. Some people do that. I don't answer the phone every time it rings. If I've set myself, we discussed last week, and I'm going to mention it just now, time blocks, and I'm working in a time block, then I am not available for anything else. And anybody who knows me or has been in the space with me when I'm working knows that I do that. And it really, really works for getting things done. So yes, you don't have to answer the phone every time it rings. You get to decide. Then leading on from that is the cycles. So before we get to the cycles, so you've got your plan, you've got your time blocks, you've got your goals that you want to achieve, you know what you're out to achieve today. A very good way to do it is to set work cycles of 90 minutes. So there's been a lot of research done about brain activity, and there are various different ones, but the one that seems to come back over and over again are 90-minute cycles for getting into something. That we've all read this, I'm sure, is that once you've had a distraction, which we've spoken about, removing all the distractions, it takes 20 minutes to get your focus back on a deep task. So if you're really focusing on a deep task and you get distracted away from it, it takes 20 minutes to get back to that task. So with that in mind, that's where the 90-minute cycle came into play, because Once you set your mind to it, and now you're going to do X, and you sit down at your desk. For example, I'll use an example of writing. So I'm going to sit down and work on a specific chapter of my book, and it takes me 20 minutes to get into that. It takes me 20 minutes just to sort of engage the thought process, get into that zone of what I'm trying to say, how I want to say it, and then it starts flowing, only then. And that is a completely natural thing that applies to all of us, that 20 minutes. And after that 20 minutes, there are another 70 minutes, of just over an hour, where you get to be productive. Set these time blocks, because after that, your mental capacity starts dipping again. That's when it's a good idea to get up, take a stretch, take a walk around, maybe then do a phone call or two while you go and get a cup of tea or a glass of water, refill your glass of water. So work in those 90-minute time blocks, because that really, really works. It's just a brain science thing. After that, what did I want to say? Your plan. So this is just a repeat of last week, but I'm going to repeat it because it's so valuable. Planning on a Sunday for the work week to come is really, really powerful. Knowing where you stand, knowing what you want to achieve is the first step to achieving anything. It's also such a powerful tool to keep you on track during the week. So, for example, you've started your day right, you've hydrated, you've moved your body, you've put off all your notifications, and you're using your time blocks, you're using your 90-minute cycles. But some distraction comes at you. There are unavoidables, like your delivery that you've really been excited to receive. Mine this week was new skin. So, yes, what I order all the time these days. And so the doorbell goes, you have to go and get your parcel. You've been distracted. Having that plan, knowing what you want to achieve, means that you can be flexible with your distractions. So you've really made every effort to cut out distractions, and here comes one that was unexpected, and you've been a little bit thrown off. It's going to take you 20 minutes to get back into it. If you know your plan and you know where you're headed, you can handle that with confidence. You can actually allow yourself 40 minutes. You can take the break, open the box, look at the stuff you received, and then restart another cycle, another 90-minute cycle for yourself if you've got the time, if you know what's happening in your calendar, and you've got your plan for the week. So plan your week. And as I said last week, yes, man's God laughs, but it's good to have a plan as a starting base, as a foundation. From there, from the blocks of time, oh, where's my 10th point? My 10th point was beautiful. Here it is. So not only have a plan, have a full day off every week where you completely detach from all your goals, from everything that you want to achieve, and just be. And that means no email. That means not even looking. You're going to think about it. If it's a passion for you, like I know my work is a passion. I'm always thinking about it. But take a day, one full day every week. It doesn't have to be the whole weekend, but take one day every week where it's just about everything else. It's about rest. It's about relaxation. It's about connecting with people. Doing everything that's not about the productive work that you do on all the other days of the week. Really, really disconnect. As I've mentioned before, I try and do it once a month. I think I've slipped longer than a month this month, where I take a day off completely from the whole world. So I literally disconnect from the whole world, and I just do me in a little bubble, and it's wonderful. But one day a week of full rest, where you're really not thinking about any of the things that you need to be productive about, is vital. Rest, rest, rest. And there's somebody knocking on my door. So there is a distraction. Fortunately, there's somebody else in the house with me, so I don't have to run and get it. But wow, the universe is really illustrating my points today. My notification on my phone to make that point for me, the guy at the front door to make that point for me. So back to the rest day. Try and make it really, really different. If that means, if you don't normally lie on the couch all day, I don't. For me, it's the couch. like literally leaving my phone somewhere, forgetting about it because the work that I do means that I'm on my laptop a lot, I'm on my phone a lot. So for me to just leave my phone lying somewhere and forget about it and lie on the couch and read a book or color in, or if I do have my phone, chat to a friend in South Africa that I haven't spoken to for a while, have a glass of wine and share a pizza with somebody, watch a movie, anything that's completely different, and do that for a whole day. Last week, I went for breakfast with a friend and my stepson, and breakfast, it was late, so we basically had breakfast for lunch at a restaurant that does all day breakfast. And then we walked along the promenade, along the beach, and then we went looking at charity shops to see what was available. It was just completely out of my norm, and I felt so revived and so refreshed the next day that I ended up doing it again. But yes, I did squeeze a little bit of work in on Sunday, but yeah, it's very important to take that full day off. Full day off, revive yourself. I usually do it on Saturday just because I find my mind starts getting into the week on a Sunday naturally, and then I love to sit on a Sunday afternoon or evening and do my plan for the week. If not, I do put it in on Monday morning. Sometimes it just doesn't feel quite the same. So those are my 10 tips today for you. I'll just run through them again. Get up early, start your day right. Hydrate yourself. Hydrate. Exercise, move your body, get yourself active. Don't check your email. Don't start with your email. Off your notifications. Stay in charge of your time. Work in your cycles of time, your 90-minute cycles of time. And time blocks, as we discussed last week. And then the day off. I think that about covers it, the day off. Yeah. So that's it. Those are my priceless productivity tips. I'm actually thinking of putting this in one of my little downloads on the web. I haven't created it yet, but because they're so specific, I'll let you know if I do that. I'll let you know when it goes live, when there's a little download, because it is handy to have it in front of you as a visual reminder and to get into a nice ritual and routine where your life follows a nice, healthy, balanced routine, and so that you can feel productive as a way to love yourself. So thank you very, very much to all of you for being here. Do let me know how your productivity goes in next week. And if you have any topics you would like me to cover, or any questions on how you think we can love ourselves better in a specific area, do let me know that as well. And I'll be happy to comply. Next week, I'm looking at learning and the learning process and how to actually bring that learning into your own reality and making it tangible. Because if you're on a growth path and you're learning new things, it's so easy to be constantly in the cycle of learning new things and not actually integrating them into your life. So I hope to see you next week to talk about that. JJ UK, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the tips. And I'll see you all again next week. Ciao for now. Mwah. Stay well and love yourself.